We also have in the house lawyer, barrister Mathias. Emeribe, good to have you on the program. Thank you so much for being here with us. So let's understand this issue. You're a lawyer, and we need you to, make it more clearer for us, because some have said that the case involving Yahaya Bello and the treatment the EFCC had given this matter, it wasn't well, coordinated. The EFCC shouldn't have done what it did, because Yahaya Bello got a court order restraining the EFCC from arrest, and now we also had the issue that the EFCC chairman was being asked to, appear before it, why it should not be arrested for contempt of court. But help us make sense out of all this. Who was in the wrong? Who was in the right? And what should have been the right process in this case involving the former governor of Kogi State?
Thank you very much. Let me say here, with the greatest respect, that we first must admit that the system we run or we operate is a democratic system, which is anchored on the rule of what? Law. The implication, therefore, is that everybody will subject itself to the what? To the superior authority of what? The law. Now, when there tends to be a negation or a deviation, the import or the effect from the individuals has its own problem or its own effect, talk less of when you talk of an institution of government. We are not saying that EFCC, for me, does not have right to arrest Yahaya Bello, particularly by virtue of the law, whether you call it the Criminal Administration of Justice Act, or you call it the Constitution itself, or even the EFCC Act. They have a right and the power to arrest anybody. But to the extent that we have a situation where I was watching, even on your television, where the chairman of the body, of the institution, in other words, the symbol of that particular body, went to the media. And for me, that was a fundamental mistake and a fundamental error on his part. And for all intents and purposes, I understand that he's a lawyer. There are things you don't discuss on air. This is because what? You are dealing with an institution that has all the machinery to get the culprit, or better still, the suspect, wherever the suspect is. Now, and if you decide to say you want to do a media trial, you ask yourself a fundamental question. What do you want to achieve by this media trial? Or you are asking that the media should be the one, or the public should be the one to convict him first before taking him before the court of law? Or you are simply saying that you don't have confidence in our judicial system by virtue of that action? For all intents and purposes, this for me is a no-no. And that is where I feel that the institution of the EFCC have done wrong. Right. Therefore, for me, it is for the chairman in question. For all intents, first, he has been invited to Kogi to face a charge of contempt. And that is because of the fact that he went out of his way to discuss issue that is already before a court of competent jurisdiction. You don't do that. I was discussing this matter sometime today with some people. And some of them were saying, they cannot say anything wrong. I said, look, it's a different thing if you had gone there to say there's a 19th-count charge against this thing. And that is what we are inviting him to come and answer. As against where you now went out of your way to say he moved this from government house to BDC, changed it, and then to the school. My brother, this is a fact that is exclusive within your own knowledge. If the other man comes, he may tell you a different story, that is not what happened. So are you not saying that your fact is more? And unfortunately, the press, the media, the populace, and so on and so on, they've gone with that position, believing that this is correct. You may not like the man, but our law, the good thing is that the law is there for everybody to follow.
Right. Law is fair to everyone.
For everybody to follow. Right. So he must have his day. Just allow him to have his day in court. Therefore, if you are coming now to say you want to bring him in, with all this action that you are taking, why should I trust you that you want to be fair? to me, even when you do arrest me. Even when you arrest me, that is, even if I say, okay, I want to voluntarily submit myself, why should I trust you? If anything wrong happens to me, if you are taking this kind of stand now, what then will happen if anything wrong happens to me in your custody? So
you're in support of him not...
I'm not saying, with due respect, I'm not saying, first, for me, left to me, if I'm his lawyer, naturally I will advise that go and attend to this. I will follow him there.
Yes.
I'll follow him there. Go and attend to this. They've alleged that these are the things that you did. Since you are innocent, they say, what do you call it? A clear conscience, fear no
accusation.
Accusation. Yeah. So if you don't have any skeleton in your cupboard, there's no problem for you to go there. But again, because of that fear, that was why he quickly took advantage of our law. By virtue of Section 46 of the Constitution, you are entitled to approach the court where you feel that your right is about, or is being, or has been threatened. You go to any state, and that explains why the Kogi State High Court, because that state has a jurisdiction to hear the matter. He said, go to any state high court. That was what the provision of the Constitution said. So he has taken advantage of that. What is wrong with that? The law is not about emotion. It is his right.
Yes.
And he has a duty to enjoy that right. And that is exactly what he has simply done. As to whether he did all those things, it's immaterial until you go before the court of competent jurisdiction. So I won't stand here to begin to defend him concerning whether those things are true or not. I will not do that as a lawyer. But what I can say is that if the steps and the procedure that the body established by law, because it's a creation of law, and mind you, whether the State High Court, FCT High Court, and so on and so forth, these are creation of the Constitution.
Right.
The EFCC, for all intents and purposes, is a statutory body. It's not a creation of the Constitution. It is out of the power given to the executive that body was created. So you now ask yourself, which one is superior? Therefore, if there is an order coming from a court of competent jurisdiction, nobody under Section 287 of the Constitution should disobey that order. That's why I say it is binding on all over the Federation. It will be enforced. So since those orders are there, the body vested with the power to investigate, arrest, and then go ahead to prosecute, has a duty to maintain status quo.
Mathias,
so very well.
On the matter of this $720,000, I understand the case had been on for some time, and the court, hearing the matters, told the school, don't make a refund to the EFCC. Continue to provide the service that you've been providing to those children. Yeah. But we were shocked to hear that the school
has refunded.
Yes, has refunded the money. What is the implication of refunding the money, the sum of money that you received from a client to a third party? In law, what is the implication of that?
Naturally, it's like, you know what you call privity of contract. That contract exists between the people who made the payment and the school. It has nothing to do with the third party, which is EFCC, who is asking them to refund same. And the implication, therefore, is that by virtue of that contract, the school is bound to the person who paid that money. It's not bound to EFCC. Although, except where it can be established by EFCC, that very money is a product of crime.
Yes.
So if you trace it and becomes a product of crime, of course, it's of no moment, talking about the money in question. But that can only be done when a proper trial is conducted. In the absence of any proper trial for which a court of competent jurisdiction had made a pronouncement, that money continues to inure in favor of those that have used it in their transaction. So it does not lie in the mouth of a third party to not say, because it is criminal, return it, and the school quickly do what? Rust and return. Meanwhile, there's a substituting court order.
Yes.
Indicating or telling you, look, stay action concerning this money, don't really continue to render services. For me, that in itself is contempt of court by the action of the school, number one. Again, it is under, because when that happens, and the school is about to be brought before the court for that contempt,
yes,
they will bring the third party who took this money away from them. And that is EFCC. They will not they come and tell us why we will not have cause to imprison you.
Because they were aware of that court order.
Yes, because that court order, with all due respect, was something that you carried out between yourself. EFCC, I'm sure, would have been served with that court order.
Yes.
Even before they went to
party to the matter.
So you cannot, so those are the danger in this kind of this that they are doing. So you see a very beautiful case that they have. They are indirectly doing what? Creating problem for it. And before you know it, one court case will come, the injunction, a matter that ought to last just 3 months, 4 months, they are through with the case. It will now linger on.
7 years. That's
because those technicalities will have to go out first before the real issue is dealt with.
So what then is the hope for cases like this? Because you already mentioned now that if this is how things will be done, because ordinarily it won't take more than 3 months to handle this case, what then is the hope for prosecution of cases?
It still goes back. That is why I said, for me, the action, especially that press conference that was conducted, it shows, with due respect, of an institution that is, inclined towards impunity rather than the rule of law. That's my thinking. Because if it is guided by the rule of law,
yes,
he will know the bus stop, he will know the border. He will know when to move and when not to move. You are not in a hurry. I mean, for all intents and purposes, criminal matters do not have expiring date in terms of offenses of crime. It doesn't have. So whether the person evades, you know where you will get him. And you will get him. And it would have been better if the man has even, if the institution has even kept quiet. They can even at the airport before they pick him there.
You know what I was even saying? If you look at the way this Ganduje matter went, the same judge that suspended him was the one that they went before and argued their matter before him. And the judge revoked the suspension order. That is the process. You either go back to that court or go to a superior court to have the order vacated. This was what they didn't do. And they just set out to arrest the man.
That's impunity.
The point has to be made that no matter how bad you feel about a court order, where we respect the rule of law, the court order must be obeyed. There was a time when Lamidi Apapa of Labour Party was parading himself as the chairman, national chairman of the party, because they got a restraining order against Abure. They waited and waited. Abure waited and waited. By the time the appeal court vacated that order, have you seen Lamidi Apapa parade himself as national chairman again? Abure has been going on parading himself as chairman. So these lawyers know the process.
Right.
Even if you have a cast iron evidence that Bello stole all the money meant for Kogi, that was such a reckless thief, you still have to follow the law.
Right.
You follow the law, the right process, the same way Ganduje got the court to vacate his suspension order. Now he's going around, he's doing his work. Exactly. You will have succeeded. You do not win court cases on the pages of newspapers. True. You do not win court cases in the court of public opinion. True. The EFCC has to change its methods and tactics. I was speaking with a friend, a very good friend of the chairman. I said, look, I don't have anything against this man. I was praising him with the energy with which he started the work. But if you do something wrong, I will tell you. That is my character. Even if you are the one paying my salary, I will tell you there's nothing you can do to me. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. Final thoughts, Mathias. You just have about 30 seconds to wrap up on this.
Go ahead. Yes, for me, I think EFCC should wait. By 15th or 10th of May, if I'm not mistaken,
10th.
There will be a ruling concerning this matter. And I think by then, the ruling or whatever that is coming up would have given the leeway as to which path to follow. But in the circumstance, I will advise them to hold their gunpowder, because whether you like it or not, it still falls within their power to carry out, to go about, because what it will mean for me is that it simply means they already have the evidence.
Right.
The moment is arrested, straight to court. Not the one you arrest. You keep the person and say, I'm going for 14 days or 20-something days. That is another one that they may probably want to bring up again. Do not keep the person. for about how many days? Say they want to get a court order to. Meanwhile, you'll be pursuing this. Meaning that if you have something, it means that you already concluded your investigation. You have them already with you.
Right.